1, 2, 3.
Hello and welcome to Kayfabe Is Dead Podcast, episode 18. I am your host, the voice of the youth Christian, and we're here once again to talk some WWE, some wrestling, specifically some Payback. I give my Payback predictions, and I'm also before that, I'm going to talk about my Smackdown Live, review. It's really just going to be quick thoughts. I usually do Raw, Smackdown Live, then whatever I could really think of, but I'm in finals week. Well, I'm about to be in finals week. You know, for the people that are in college, or for everybody that have experienced college, we know that that last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks, that's the time to crunch down and get on your shit. And that's what I'm in the midst of doing. I'm trying to get this 4.0, working very hard, and so I didn't give my full attention to Raw as I shouldn't have because it was a terrible show. And SmackDown, I had it on and I watched it, but as much as, you know, as busy as I am, I also have an NBA podcast, and we did have the Rockets and Thunder game on, so I was flipping through channels, and SmackDown was an okay show, I would say, but it's finals week. I got very bigger things to stress, unfortunately. And next week, I hope I could put out the podcast. All right, for everybody who is a subscriber on YouTube that is listening, or listening from YouTube in general, please follow the SoundCloud, because next week I do not know if I could put the episode on YouTube in time. Because for those of whom who keep listening, who are fans and who stay tuned to all these podcasts, we know that I upload these podcasts at school, and Wednesday or Tuesday is going to be my last day of school in general as far as my freshman year goes. So I'm not going to have that luxury of that beautiful Wi-Fi. So the YouTube videos are going to take forever to post. It's going to take like 3 hours for me to post them, and it shuts down like my internet in the whole house. It's very weird. But yeah, because of that, I don't know if I'll be able to post it in time, and maybe not even till next week, just because I'm also going on vacation. I'm going to be in Miami come Thursday, going to this big Rolling Loud festival. It's a big concert. I'm a big rap fan, and it got all the best right now. The Kendrick Lamars, the Travis Scotts, A$AP Rocky. Has goats like Lil Wayne, and as Future, I'm so excited, and I can't wait. So I'm gonna be in Miami for 8 days. So not gonna get a podcast in 2 weeks, unfortunately, or at least not right away. It's probably gonna be the first week I take off doing this Kayfabe Is Dead podcast, and also you might not be able to get that YouTube one up for a while, so please subscribe. Please follow the SoundCloud account, and vice versa. If you're listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow the SoundCloud account. Follow us everywhere on every platform. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube under the name AllOfTheAboveEnt. Please show love, do all that good stuff. But before we get into that, not now that we got that over, I should say, is there any news to cover? I'm trying to go over everything in my head because I didn't really write news down. I've been pretty busy. We got the Hardys. It looks like they're getting out of their legal dispute with Anthem Sports. We had Jeff Jarrett merging Anthem Sports with TNA. Global Force Wrestling with TNA, and a bunch of moves in TNA that are happening with championships being switched around. I don't watch TNA, so I can't really give you the backstory, but I did hear that there has been something going around in TNA that might destroy management. So as far as that goes, I don't know too much about, but it really does bring some interest. And I know it's not good to wish upon people's downfalls, but as far as TNA goes, I want all their talent as possible. So yeah, that's what that is. I didn't talk about the possibilities of what this WrestleMania 33 could have been. That was kind of leaked not too long ago. We had the possibilities of many things. So let's break it down. We had the original plans for WrestleMania 33. It was going to be AJ Styles keeping his championship, and therefore I don't know what his plans at Royal Rumble would have been, but we would have had Undertaker versus Cena at Mania, which is beautiful. We would have had AJ Styles. I don't think they announced what AJ Styles' true plans was, unfortunately. We would have had Miz facing off against Nakamura. We would have had Undertaker in an elimination chamber. The possibilities, the wonders of how good that Mania could have been is truly remarkable. And WWE sure did ruin it. And I feel like I'm missing one more thing. I know the Shinsuke Miz, which it was going to be like I don't know if it was going to be a surprise or, we were going to know about Miz facing Nakamura going into Mania Day. But it was going to be because of Daniel Bryan's selection to take on him for the IC belt. We would have had Undertaker and Cena. And I feel like there was a Styles match. Well, what it was is Styles was going to face Undertaker at Royal Rumble, lose his title, then win it at Elimination Chamber after Cena eliminates Undertaker. So that's how it would have gone. They didn't announce who Styles would have faced at Mania or anything like that. But we missed Styles being a 2-time champion, Undertaker facing AJ Styles, Undertaker in an Elimination Chamber match, Cena not getting that 16th title, Cena and Taker, Shinsuke versus Nakamura. They said that Bray would have faced Wyatt at Elimination Chamber, and he would have turned on him at the Royal Rumble. I don't know who this means is going to win the Royal Rumble, but it was a big ripple effect, and the reason we didn't get this is because of a certain person, and for the first time, it is not Vince McMahon to blame. I think Vince McMahon had his head on screwed, right? Because apparently that's the card that he wanted. But because of one person in control, everything that we truly desired did not happen. And this person is Kevin Dunn. Look up who Kevin Dunn is if you don't already know who he is. If you're listening to this podcast, I'm pretty sure you do, but he's a clown. He's a producer of WWE. He does a lot of the behind the scenes. He's never going to be seen on screen. He's always going to be in the truck and controlling the camera angles and whatnot, lowering the volume of the crowd and making sure we get Roman Reigns over. Yeah. So thank you, Kevin Dunn. Shout out to you. Not at all. Fuck you. But last news before we talk about Smackdown Live. I'm going to brush over Smackdown Live very, very quick. I'm not talking about Raw. And predictions for Payback is going to be fairly quick, I would say at least. But Mauro Ranallo is officially out of WWE. No more commentating on SmackDown. He's in his contract till August, so I think he can't take any more pro wrestling dates till August. But as far as MMA, boxing, he can still do those. And he claims that it wasn't because of JBL. We know that's just a lie. We know he just got paid some money to basically cover everything up. Say, you know what? Nothing happened. It's just we saw differences. I wasn't in the best state. He's not going to blame it on JBL. They're going to protect JBL. And the way they reward JBL, do they discipline him? Do they take him off of TV? No. They give us more JBL, and they put him on Talking Smack, which is the reason I can't give you any Talking Smack insight for today because I did not watch the show. And I don't know if I'm going to as long as JBL is there. I'm assuming that Daniel Bryan is patiently waiting for his baby Birdie Joe, who should be coming very, very soon. I say should be coming soon, like it's a movie or it's a wrestler, but he's having a baby daughter. So when that day comes, congratulations to you, Daniel Bryan. I mean, you live that retired life. You know, you don't got to no longer wrestle. Your health is more important than you putting on shows in the ring. As much as I hate to say it, but with all that being said, I was gonna say let's get into SmackDown Live, but I just want to say that if you guys heard last podcast, which I mean it got 14 views, so shout out to me because what it's looking like is my podcast that I do alone is the most viewed one, and as much as I like to put my peoples on, that feels kind of good, but this podcast won't be alone in so much longer. We got EJ, my man Eddie, who should be coming up very, very soon. It should be, in general, this is around the time he starts to visit more often. It's summertime. And also, not only that, he did get accepted to the school that I go to, so that most likely means that he is going to be up here, which was the whole plan for this podcast. So everything is going right now. And I'm very excited for the future of this channel, future of this podcast, future of everything that's coming. Now, along with that, speaking of college, I know I feel like I'm only talking about myself today, but WWE will be coming soon. I hope you guys are interested in this. If you guys aren't interested in this, I'm only going to talk about it for like another maybe 30 seconds. But I did a speech on WWE, a persuasive speech on why pro wrestling is an art form that I could dead perform to you right now. I started off with showing a Mankind and Undertaker clip where Undertaker throws him off the cell, the iconic scene, and then I say, what do you see? Do you see a man being thrown off of a 25-foot Hell in a Cell? What I see is art. And today I'm going to persuade you on why pro wrestling is an art form. I go into all the sources I use all my sources, and I presented that. And my teacher told me not to do it. She said that it doesn't sound persuasive. She said that she doesn't know how I could fit it in her outline. Gave me a whole bunch of problems with it. After the speech, she said I did phenomenal. She said she thinks I found my passion. I guess my passion is talking wrestling. Little does she know I have a podcast about it, but let me digress. And I got the grade back today, and I got an A+. I didn't know I could get an A+. I thought the highest grade was an A. The A+s are myths that you see, but I got an A+. I lost 1 point. 1 point, and it was for my enthusiasm, which was bullshit. But I'm not going hate on anything. And she did write 5 out of 5 for enthusiasm, but I guess she was like, nah, this grade can't be perfect. I can't have a perfect final, so she gave me a 4 out of 5. Whatever. I'm happy, and I'm happy I was able to express my passion in front of, even if it was only a class of 30, I still got to express my passion to them. And not only that, I see a future in this, and I truly do see a future in me talking pro wrestling, and I hope this podcast could go as far as it possibly can go. So with all that being said, let me discuss my passion, and that is WWE, and let's start it off with Smackdown Live. Again, just going to breeze past it. It started off with Shinsuke Nakamura coming down to the ring, about to cut a promo. Then Dolph Ziggler comes out, tries to interview him, and he says, okay, since he doesn't know English, let me interpret what he's saying. Basically says, well, when he asked the question, who are you? Dolph Ziggler is basically insinuating Michael Jackson. I think he basically says it too. And Dolph Ziggler then he either gives the mic back to Shinsuke or Shinsuke takes it from him. Calls Ziggler a jackass. And they fight a little bit. Shinsuke teases the Kinshasa, doesn't hit it. Dolph Ziggler rolls out the ring. Very excited for this feud to come. Okay, starts SmackDown Live. Then we had Styles versus Corbin. Again, real quick, Styles just reversed the powerbomb to roll up Corbin. And then after that, Owens beat up Styles along with Corbin. And then Sami Zayn comes out. I don't like this. Why is Sami Zayn getting involved? Like, what connection does he have with AJ Styles? Is he getting involved simply because he doesn't like Kevin Owens? But I thought they're done forever fighting. I feel like I don't mind seeing them fight once again. That's not the issue with me. I want them to fight again, hopefully for the main title one day, or an actual title instead of just a story in the future. But I don't want them to drag out this, and I hope this doesn't lead to a Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens match next week. And truthfully, that's probably the worst situation you could ask for. I feel like right now, Sami Zayn needs to stay as far away from Kevin Owens as possible. Let Kevin Owens do Kevin Owens. He doesn't need to have that link with Sami Zayn. I still believe one day they should be a tag team, and then split. Like, somebody turns on each other. I'm very interested to see. I kind of fantasy booked in my head Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn as a tag team, and then Sami Zayn turning on Owens saying, I knew he was going to turn on me and I just did it before him. I outsmarted him. I think that would be cool. I would love to see that happen just because we all will be anticipating something different. And also, I think they could be a very fucking fun tag team. So, that's just a possibility in my head. Some of the fantasy booking thoughts that go into it. But a situation that I kind of fantasy booked for my WrestleMania Dream Card, episode 5, that I said I'll never plug again, but I just did now, so go check that out. I fantasy booked the Beat the Clock situation, and we haven't seen a Beat the Clock in, I feel, a long amount of time, and we had one this week on Smackdown. And it was for the tag team titles, for a tag team title contention shot. We had American Alpha defeating the Colognes, making the Colognes look trash once again in like 5 minutes and some change. Then we had Breezango defeating Ascension in like 3 minutes and some change. So Breezango versus Usos come Backlash, and I hope Breezango gets a face push, and I hope they do turn faces. I think they have endless talent and endless potential. If Vince McMahon can't see it, I can. And I truly do believe the word that I'm saying out my mouth. I think Tyler Breeze is amazing talent. Never got to see the rise of Fandango in NXT, or I guess maybe he even had a little rise in WWE. I was never watching then, but I do like his work. So I hope that they really start to push this talent. I do hope they push Ascension too. And I need to see maybe a Ascension feud with American Alpha, but I don't know what this Colognes thing is doing. We need to see more feuds in the tag team division that isn't the main title scene. So hopefully that is coming. We also had Rusev talking, saying that it was kind of weird though. He was in, it looked like almost a performance center or some area, and he basically said he's not happy that he's on SmackDown, and he requests a title shot. And that's the only way he'll come back. But he requests a title shot for Money in the Bank. Now, we know he's injured, but that sounds weird. He says, I need a title shot at Money in the Bank, or I'm not going to show up anytime soon. Now, I guess Money in the Bank is a SmackDown pay-per-view. I think that should be a pay-per-view where it's a pay-per-view where both brands are on it. And I think that both brands should be in the Money in the Bank match. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't even know if it's a SmackDown pay-per-view. Maybe they are doing what I just said, but who knows? I'm sure it's out there, but I'm not going to go check right now. But yeah, it was kind of awkward. I wish he would just say, I'm injured right now and I can't compete, but come Money in the Bank if I don't get a title shot. I'm cool with him asking for a title shot. But I think that he should have said, if I don't get a title shot come when I'm cleared, then there's going to be problems. And then when he's cleared, whether it be 4 weeks before Money in the Bank, come on and say, there's going to be problems if you don't give me that title shot. And he could maybe feud with the higher-ups for a little bit, and then he finally earns that title shot. Or if he wants to run through the whole locker room for that title shot, whatever, so let it be. But this just kind of seemed a little awkward. I don't know how I felt about it. This next thing, I know how I felt about it. It was Eric Rowan versus Randy Orton, and I felt very uninterested. Didn't pay much attention to it. I seen the table spot, and Randy Orton, of course, won with an RKO. Who would have known? What happened after was a little intriguing. We had Jinder come out, beating up Randy Orton. Randy Orton was starting to get a little momentum back, and then we had the Bollywood Boys once again coming out, officially aligned with Jinder Mahal. They left with him as Jinder took the title with him as well. He also left the arena in a stretch limousine with the belt. So a little bit of intrigue. A little bit of intrigue indeed. I think Jinder can be a great heel because he draws heat like it's nothing. And in this day and age, it's hard to draw heat like that. So Jinder has the look. He has the physique, at least. I don't really like his hair, but that's a minor nitpicky mistake, nitpicky flaw. But I'm excited for Jinder to be pushed a little bit. I don't think he should have been pushed this far. I feel like he slowly should have been presented to us rather than shoved down our throats, but it is what it is. Next the final thing we had was the main event, Naomi versus Charlotte. Once again, the Rockets and Thunder game was very close at this moment in time, and it was just hit the fourth quarter, and it was getting good. So, didn't pay much attention to this match. They put on a very athletic performance, and they did exactly what I said. They had the women come out, the 3 women come out, which are Tamina, Natalya, and Carmella, and interrupt the match and beat them both to a pulp. No Becky Lynch, though, which I did say should happen next week, or the week after. So I think they're going on the route that I'm doing, and if this does lead to a Becky versus Charlotte, and Becky's heel, Charlotte's face, I'm very intrigued in the product, and I'm very happy. You know what? Fantasy booking works out sometimes, because once you're right, you feel good. You feel so accomplished. You're like, yeah, I'm on the par of WWE. They should sign me right now. I should be a writer. I don't know. That's just how I'm feeling. Like, I feel good about it. But that was SmackDown. Can't give you my overall grade of it if I was to go letter grades. It was an okay show. Raw was absolutely terrible. That's why I'm not even going to discuss it. And I only tuned in like halfway through, to be honest with you, because I got home late from work. But isn't that the story of my life? I have work today. I'm doing this before. Sacrifices. So for this coming Sunday, let's talk about it. We got Payback. And I got to check what time I work, to be honest, as my throat is getting a little dry and I want some Powerade. This episode is not sponsored by Powerade, by the way. Let me see. Today is a 4 to 10. Sunday, 11 to 7, so that's perfect. Be home just in time for this wonderful pre-show. I don't know if I'm going to tune into the pre-show, because we got Enzo and Cass versus The Club. I don't care who wins. I don't care about the match. I don't care who loses. They're both really dead in the water right now. And I just... I have no idea. That's how I feel about the match. I got The Club winning, I guess. Who cares? Is the better answer. Now, down to some matches that... I don't really care about any of these matches. Braun versus Reigns is very intriguing. Bliss versus Bayley is pretty intriguing. The Hardys versus Cesaro and Sheamus is intriguing, but not because of the build. Like, this match is very... This card is very, 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 very fucking great on paper. As far as all the build for these matches, it's just Braun and Roman that was built great. All the other build was trash, to be honest, but once again, one of the better pay-per-views on paper. We have Aries versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship, and I think there's no way Neville is losing that title. And I feel like there's going to be something that has to do with TJ Perkins. So that's my prediction. And I think Neville's winning for sure. I think that's a sure bet. Hardys versus Cesaro and Sheamus. I think this is not as much as a sure bet as people are making it seem. Because I do think WWE does want to split these two people up and have them both go solo, which I am more intrigued for it to begin with. I think what I think they should do is exactly what I think they're going to do. And that's have Hardys keep the belts for a little bit. If anything, I thought they were going to lose it to the Revival. That might be put on pause right now because Dash Wilder is injured, or Scott Dawson. I'm pretty sure Dash Wilder. Yeah, Dash Wilder is injured. And so I think that might be put on pause. But I know that they're talking about Brock Lesnar versus Jeff Hardy. And Jeff Hardy versus, who was it? Another big star. It might have been, I think it was Braun Strowman or Roman Reigns, one of the bigger people in WWE right now, and they love the potential in Jeff Hardy, as Vince McMahon is really big on him. And Matt Hardy, I know he's about to get his broken gimmick back, so I don't know how they're gonna make that work, because they do have to make it known for the fans of WWE that weren't watching TNA like me. Like I really know nothing about the broken universe, the delete chants. I just know what I heard from my fellow wrestling fans, my colleagues in this WWE universe. And I don't know. I do want to see how it is, and I want to see how WWE would do it, and I think they are going to end up doing that. But as far as this pay-per-view goes, I think the Hardys are going to win, but it's not as sure as bet as people may see it as. I got Hardy 70%, Cesaro Sheamus 30%, for sure. Then we got Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Now, this is when I'm going to talk about Raw, because there was a segment that I did not like at all. And it was going to be the Club versus Big Cass, the Club and Samoa Joe versus Big Cass and Enzo and Seth Rollins. Now, Enzo got taken out by the Club earlier in the night, well, right before the match, I should say. And Kurt Angle brings out a surprise wrestler to face on the Club. And it was Finn Balor, their close friend that we've seen already basically acknowledge Finn Balor backstage, do the too cool, everything. But now because he's thrown in a match with them, he doesn't like him. At least that's how they're going to portray it as. This is bullshit. You could have Balor face and just have no contact with the Club at all. Was this really that important that Balor needed to be introduced to this? Especially if it was so pointless. I hated this. And then he goes right after either Anderson or Gallows. It's fucking disappointing. I want to see a story between these people, not just random things put together. But as far as the Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe match goes, I got Samoa Joe winning. I don't think he's losing his first pay-per-view match. Or this is the second one? Second one. I think he faced Sami Zayn in the first one, but I don't see him losing. I got him winning. I don't know if it's going to be shenanigans or whatnot, but I got Samoa Joe winning. Basically 60-40. It's going to be a close margin for this one. Now we got the U.S. title on the line. Owens versus Jericho. No really further story being told in here, so that's kind of disappointing. But I got Owens easily, 100%, no doubt. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Another almost sure bet for me, but got at almost at an 80-20. Bayley winning. I think that Bayley Banks feud is going to be the next big title feud it's going to be the next title change. And that's when Banks is going to win at SummerSlam, most likely in Brooklyn. Getting her win back. 50-50 booking always. Remember that. But Bliss is, I don't know. Maybe that feud could be not for the title, though. That's one thing. But I think that feud is going to outshadow that whole women's division. So putting the title on the line makes it even that more meaningful. So maybe we could go into a Bliss-Nia Jax feud. I don't know. But I do have Bayley winning, for sure. Now, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton in a House of Horrors match. I'm more excited for the House of Horrors concept that nobody knows about than I am for this match. And that's because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a Falls Count Anywhere match. I don't know. Bray Wyatt said something about it taking place outside of the ring and ending in the ring. I don't know what that means. I'm very lost. But I'm not excited. But I got Bray winning just because the title is not on the line. But this also may diminish Randy Orton's credibility. But Bray Wyatt's credibility is much more important than Randy Orton's right now at this point, even though Randy Orton is the champion. Bray Wyatt, this is his match. And he needs a win, especially on a new brand filled with fucking big names. Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe. He needs to solidify himself. Finn Balor. He needs the Hardys. The list continues on, but he needs to solidify himself and be a main act. And you can't do that by losing, even though history would tell you otherwise. What I didn't like that they did with Wyatt this week was on Monday Night Raw, Miz was supposed to have a surprise partner as well. That partner ended up not coming out until very, very later, and it was Bray Wyatt. He ended up basically Sister Abigail-ing everybody, and this is bullshit. Because right now he's in a feud with Randy Orton, but he's also in a feud with Finn Balor. Now he's in a feud with everybody. Unless they're doing this, as in he's coming for everybody, then why are we doing this? Again, you're throwing things together just because you want to throw things together. Is the roster really that slim that when they say surprise partner and surprise guest and surprise this, surprise that, you guys don't have any other options? You don't got to do a surprise at all. We could have had a Miz versus Jericho match, even though I didn't want to see that, as well as not wanting to see a lot of this damn show. It's fucking disappointing. to say the least. I don't know what tangent I'm on now, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the ending of Monday Night Raw. But the last match, the ending of Payback, how for sure it's going to end. Very exciting match. I wish it had a stipulation to it. As far as I know, it doesn't. Let me double check before I talk out my ass here, but see if I can find it. Like, Payback matches. Give me a second. Yeah, it's just saying it's a singles match. I would have loved to seen an ambulance match. I would have loved to seen a no disqualification, falls count anywhere match. I would have loved to seen, I would have loved to even see a dumpster match, to be honest. The dumpster match that took place on Monday Night Raw was pretty alright, and Braun Strowman did lose, but it was just a little fluke win for Kalisto. I don't know. I would have loved to seen, as intense as this feud is, a singles match is a little too humble for it. These are all singles matches, and I'm not saying we need a stipulation for everything, but it's weird. I don't like the feeling of it. I need some, what is it called? But spaz? No. I need some, I don't know. I need something different, cause I'm not digging this. But Money in the Bank is a SmackDown brand pay-per-view. I'm looking at it here too. Bad Blood, that's coming back. Ooh. I'm getting off topic real quick, but Extreme Rules is next. That's Raw. Money in the Bank is SmackDown. Bad Blood is Raw. Battleground is SmackDown. Why do we have TakeOver Chicago too? I don't like that. It's way too soon for a TakeOver. It's May 20th. I like takeovers being for the big four. I don't like this whole, I don't know, it's been 2 months almost. It's not even, when that takeover comes, it would be less than 2 months, which is a little ridiculous. It'd be like 7 weeks, maybe 6 weeks almost. I don't like that. But as far as the Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns match goes, my heart is telling me Braun Strowman. They're going to do Braun Strowman, even though he's going to lose to Brock Lesnar. Come, I guess, maybe Extreme Rules, that pay-per-view. That's why I looked this up. But, I think it's truly going to be Roman Reigns. Fuck. Can they give it to Roman still? My mind and my heart are fighting each other, but I'm going to go with my heart. On paper, my choice is Braun Strowman. And I hope that's what happens, and I think that's what we need. And I wish I had a stipulation to it, but as far as that goes, that's my predictions come Sunday night, come Payback, the Raw pay-per-view, April 30th, 2017. And yeah, that's where I stand. This was a very bad go-home show for Raw, if I didn't mention before. But Payback is a card I'm excited for just because of the matches more than the build in itself, not more than the storytelling. And yeah, that's how I feel. Those are my thoughts. Tell me who you guys got down below on this Sunday, I should say. Tell me who you guys got. Do you got Roman? Do you got Braun? What is your mind telling you? What is your heart telling you? Do you think Braun is as good as I do? Because I think he's amazing right now, both in the ring and out the ring, and mic work and his roar and everything else. And he got me very excited. So, very looking forward to this coming pay-per-view. And hopefully the next pay-per-view, I can get my man Jesse with me, who is on my UFC podcast as well as my NBA podcast. Because even though he watches wrestling here and there, he's a casual fan, I want to show him that NXT TakeOver. Because I think he'll be amazed. I'm going to have him going into it blind, not knowing any of the storylines and just watching it for what it is. And I think he might turn heads. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But as far as this podcast goes, I actually said I was going to do a short podcast and delivered. So hopefully I'm definitely going to get this one up on YouTube. That's not a question, but these are my thoughts for SmackDown Live. All the news, at least as much as I remembered off the top of my head, as well as future for WWE. Everything I talked about today. Once again, guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow my SoundCloud channel. Catch me on iTunes. You can rate that as well. That does a lot for me, mentally at least. And I appreciate it all. Thank you for all the support. Share this. Do whatever. Follow me on Instagram. If I'm not Instagram. I don't really care if you see my Instagram or not, but Twitter is where I'm really at. Twitter is where I share my thoughts. That's CGONZ_223, Cgons _223. Please check that out. Follow me, tweet me questions, comment questions, do whatever you truly feel. With all that being said, I am signing out. I am your host, the voice of the youth, Christian, and I'm going to keep saying the voice of the youth because I'm 18 years old. And I don't know. I feel like I got much potential, and I speak for my generation. And I don't see too many young people. I know I follow a few YouTube channels that they have young 18, 19-year-olds putting in work, and I appreciate their work a lot. And I feel like they're part of the voice of the youth too. And I feel like as the youth, we got to make our voices heard, and the new wave is podcasts. So get on the goddamn podcast. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. With all that being said, guys, thank you for listening. You can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes under the name AllOfTheAboveEnt. I'm done talking fast. I need a glass of water. I am out. Enjoy Payback this Sunday. Cool. Signing out. Cool. Bye.